The rookies, Ed Kerner had a brilliant night against the Tigers, as can be seen there in both forms of the game. Nick Lowe, I think most people would have been following his form in pre-season and had them in, I'd say. So he had a great night against the Lions. Dyson Heppel, the NAB Rising Star from week one. Um, his numbers weren't great in Dream Team, but his kicking efficiency and the like in Supercoach makes him valuable in that competition. And Robbie Tarrant had a fantastic game out west. Very much put him on your watch list and on your radar moving forwards in defence there. If he keeps getting those type of numbers in defence, um, especially this week, I'm going to keep an eye on him. He might be worth a quick round 3 trade just to get him in to make sure you get those numbers and his value will skyrocket later on. Cam Pedersen had a good week against the Eagles as well, so keep him on your watch list in both forms of the game. Sean McKernan was an interesting one. I watched the full game. He looks like he's really beginning to break through. Took some fantastic marks out on the wing. Really mobile. Probably a little bit short for a ruckman, but he's kind of their floater through the midfield by the looks of it. Just a big guy kind of floating around, cutting off opportunities, and if he gets that free kind of role under Neil Craig, then he could be a valuable addition to Dream Team as if you haven't got him, and Super Coaches, sorry. With his contested marks that he took, he could be very valuable in Super Coach. Luke Tapscott. I think I mentioned him in previous editions. He's kind of like a Daniel Rich. His foot's like a laser. He hits targets, really efficient. Contested footy, contested marks, which is why he's much more valuable in Super Coach than in Dream Team. So if you're going to do an upgrade to one of your rookie forwards in Super Coach, he'd be the one I'd be looking at right now. He has had some injury worries, so keep an eye on him and how he goes around too. And Tom Liberatore had a solid game for the Doggies against the Bombers. Again, they were soundly beaten, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes in round 2. Jared Irons, rookie upgrade, had a really good solid game against the Pies. Another one to keep an eye on. Ditto with Shane Savage of the Hawks against the Crows. Had a nice solid game. Cam Richardson, ditto again. Good solid game against West Coast and looks classy off halfback. Expect him to get better as he picks up the tempo of AFL footy. And Jack Darling looks like in the future he could be a massive Super Coach scorer, and he will be a big Dream Team scorer as well. So keep him on well and truly on your radar if you haven't got him in your team yet. Alright, look at injuries after week 1. See here, Jason Porplesia hurt his shoulder. Kurt Tippett's due back soon. Not sure about Jason Porplesia. I haven't heard when he's due back, but it didn't look good when he come off. Luke Power will be coming for a test. Jonathan Brown, of course, out for 8 weeks. Brent Staker's down there as a season, but he did get Lars surgery, so he'll be back in 8 to 10. Cruz is back in about a month. Ben Howlett had a reasonably solid game for the Bombers against the Doggies, but he's under a little bit of a query this week with his knee, so there is a test. Tendai Mazungu there, still 8 to 10 weeks away, so he'll be a mid-season upgrade from most people, I think, in both forms of the game. Paul Chapman, Cameron Ling, both back this week, and Joel Selwood will play. Luke Hodge will play as well, so there's some big names there in Supercoach and Dream Team coming back. Geordie McKenzie and Tom Scully are still a little while away for the Demons. Geordie McKenzie's a tackling machine, and well worth looking upgrade when he does come back. Ryan Bastanak, he's indefinite. Todd Goldstein should be back this week. And what have we got? Jay Schultz did his knee, and Ben Jacobs is now 3 to 4 weeks away after having glandular fever. Keep an eye out on him when he does come back through the SANFL, because he did average a lot at the footy last year in junior footy. Ty Kennelly and Nick Malcheski are still out. Kennelly may be back this week, but with his injury history, I don't think anyone could have confidence in him in their fantasy footy teams. Chris Maston unfortunately did his knee. Probably only a dream teamer and not a super coach who does butcher the footy, but he does get it when he's up and going. So a little bit disappointing. And Mark Lacroix hurt his groin or his abductor, out for a long time. And the doggies, Brian Lake and Lindsay Gilby both look like they'll be back this week, but Ryan Hargrave is still a long while away. And Eastonwood hurt his ankle on the weekend and he's out, so that may affect some dream teamers and super coaches as well. Okay, we'll now look at the key ins and outs for round 2 as they've just come through. We'll just look at the ones that I think are reasonably important to Dream Team and super coaches. These are all, of course, important depending on who you've got on your team, but probably some of the highlights are the Kangaroos with Petrie Goldstein coming in and Pedersen going out, who was a big rookie point scorer last week. Chad Corns coming in for Port. Be interesting to see how he goes. A lot of people have written him off, but he was a big point scorer. Maybe he can have a little renaissance, but I doubt it. But it'll be interesting to see how he goes. Daniel Kerr and Nick Natanui in, and Lacar and Maston are out. So interesting to see how Daniel Kerr goes in his return from injury. Now this is the Gold Coast Suns team, so everyone will have their own selections for Gold Coast Suns, but just some of the more popular ones I think will be Nathan Bock, Nathan Cracker's in there, Daniel Harris is in there, Riscatelli's in there, Alec Megan, Danny Stanley, Brennan, Zach Smith in the ruck, so he's playing up forward, but we'll swap with Josh Fraser in the ruck. Brandon Matera, Josh Fraser, as I said, David Swallow, Gary Ablett, and Josh Toy, Bennell, and Prestia on interchange. So, have a look at which Suns you want to bring into your team this week. Matthew Watson's in for the Blues as a young rookie, and Jaden Pitt is out of the Fremantle team as a young rookie. The Cats have brought Chapman, Ling, and Posiadley in, so three big point scorers from last year, although Ling wasn't so big last year, but has been in the past. And Matty Scarlett went out last week after his 100-point game. The Doggies, Mitch Wallace comes in, young rookie, so Wallace and Liberatore are both in. Interesting to see how he goes, got some massive scores in under 18s. For the Lions, Luke Power, Matt Maguire, both in. Luke Power's in twice there, ignore that. Brock McCauley is also in, young rookie ruckman. Interesting to see whether he gets a game. Had a reasonably good point scoring record in pre-season, so interesting to see if he can get a game this week. And Jonathan Brown and Brent Staker are out, of course, for the Lions, both injured. Brent Staker's got Lars surgery as well, so he could be back before the end of the season, but who knows. The Swans, Luke Parker, he's a young rookie, be interesting, very talented, to see how he goes this week, put him on your watch list. And CB's out, so if you've got CB as your second ruckman, you might want to have a look at who you got on your ruck bench there. For the Bombers, Kyle Reimers comes in, interesting to see. Said he had a big pre-season, interesting to see how he goes. But Angus Monfrey is out for the Bombers, who's a good, well, he's better than good, he's an excellent player for the Bombers. For the Hawks, a few big names coming in, Ellis, Guerra and Hodge. So all those Luke Hodge fans will be eagerly awaiting his return this weekend. The D's, James Frawley is back for the D's, so that'll be interesting. And just a reminder that the Crows have got the bye this week, so all your Adelaide players you got in your team, put them on the bench. And though I dare say most people will be replacing them with Gold Coast players this week. And just a reminder that with the substitute rule as it is, of course you can't do anything about the substitutes as they only name them 40 minutes before the game during Saturdays and Sundays. But on Friday night, they name it 40 minutes before bounce down, so that's 40 minutes before lockout. so you can at least make sure you don't cop the wrath of the substitute on the Friday night game. So keep that in mind on Friday nights if you can. Look for who's been named the sub 40 minute out and adjust your team as per needed. So we'll just finish off and have a look at my team, how it's set up and how it went the first 2 weeks. So this is my dream team. 2,081 points, ranked 11,000th in the first week. Couple of small changes that I'm looking at doing over the next few weeks, mainly in the rucks, but we'll see how that goes. Now, both my teams are kind of similar, just with a few tinkerings in the ruck and defence, pretty much. And that scored 2,252 and ranked 14,000th after the first week. So we might do a little bit of tinkering, similar with this one, but be interesting to see how they go. But you can have a look at my team anyway at Carlos 316 if you want to. That's up to you guys. So that's it. Next week we'll be doing a round 2 fantasy footy wrap up, and we'll be talking to you then. Hope your team scores plenty of points this weekend. See you guys.